Now, it's not to say that I think this new guy doesn't serve a purpose, which he does. It was in order to make Nagi jealous and, in return, make him feel conflicted about who his heart is truly latched onto. And, obviously a blind man could see it coming a mile away, but for him, it's definitely catching him by surprise that he felt envy, jealousy, and was a little annoyed that another man, who Erika clearly didn't actually care about, but he got blindsided by someone giving her attention other than himself. And I like the fact that they did introduce a believable way to make him feel those feelings, but it doesn't change the fact that the man just annoyed me beyond belief, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't like Hiro when she was first introduced, so I'm not saying it's impossible that this man could end up becoming a character I like in the future, other than just a plot important reason. But I can't deny how I'm currently feeling. He's just walking cringe. The way he talks, it's just so socially awkward. You can tell he's never gonna get laid if he keeps talking like that. Just the shit he says, man, you just want to smack him upside the head. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't like him. He served a purpose. Just have to clear the air with that. But I will say the actual episode was very interesting because I wasn't expecting a moment like this so soon. If you've been following the videos, I definitely have suspected something like this would happen eventually, but my hunch was closer to the end of Core 1, if not Core 2. And while they definitely leave it off on a cliffhanger that makes it feel like a confession, like, hey, do you really want to know, like, where my heart's lying sort of a thing, I doubt she's going to say Nagi. I doubt it's going to be something that straightforward, but you also never know because the show has pulled some interesting twists before. But I do have to say, this is a show that's definitely done things that I think other anime have attempted but failed miserably at, and that is introducing things that are normally an eye roll, but they just stay that way, right? You look at so many harems, you look at so many rom-coms, and you say, that's a bad addition that is just pandering to a very small group of people, and the majority of watchers are just going to find them annoying. Where here, I can hate a character or dislike a character's personality, as in the case of her fan here. And I hate what he says, I hate how he acts, but it's not like he's just a mess of a character who does nothing for the story. He propels the jealousy, he propels the conflicting feelings of, wait, why am I feeling this way for someone I recently just met, but he's been spending so much one-on-one time that he's actually growing to love someone like Erika, and now he's conflicted because, for all these years he's been competing for Hiro when really, sometimes you want what you can't get, but then when you finally meet someone else that maybe actually steals your heart, maybe it's too little too late for that original crush, even if she's starting to show feelings for you. So I like the fact that they're able to use things that technically annoy me, but have it feel like I'm glad they're still a part of it. The only thing I hope is that if this man sticks around longer than a couple of episodes, his personality starts to click a bit better than what they delivered here. Or they can just shove him out of the way. I'd be fine with that too. But I will say, the second half of this episode took me by surprise. There was some great directing. I think the idea of the friends written in the sand, and then how the ocean just kind of came in and took away half of it and it just said end, I thought was great, not only because it's the end of the episode, but it could be the end of what they currently have if she admits something that completely changes their opinion of one another. So it was a really great visual touch, alongside so many different ones as well. But there was also the whole Slave of Fate thing, which I was really happy about getting the first half of the episode. I knew there was some confusion after last week. My interpretation of the engagement was that she's engaged to inherit that shrine, therefore she can't really be tied down to anything she wants, she has to follow her family. But I did see a lot of people confused, oh wait, does she still have to get married? So I'm glad that they definitely touched upon it in this episode, so any confusion is definitely dissolved. But I thought it was great because, these are the moments that really put it in your mind that it's not one-sided. As much as it seemed like it at first, where she's like, I only date someone, or I'd only date someone if they're smarter than me, she has been pushing back for so long, and hell, even Erika almost gave up on her Cupid's arrow when she saw just how distant she was to Nagi. But the fact of the matter is, it does feel like she wants him to be that person who changes her fate, and no longer makes her a slave to it. And I like the fact that within the same episode, you get jealous Nagi towards someone, not just Hiro, but to Erika, and you have in the same episode Hiro showing signs of affection and hope that he'll be the one. And I like the fact that on both sides, whether it's Erika looking in on Nagi's flirtatious, happy actions towards Hiro, she's happy and is rooting for him. And in this episode, you see the same thing with Hiro. Despite in earlier moments her feeling like, I hope it is you that will change my fate, she isn't mad that he's getting jealous that she's spending time with someone else. And it makes a lot of sense, too, given that he has been her little photographer for some time, and even in this episode she says, the pictures look better when you take it. So I think they're doing a great job of the essential, love triangle and the will they, won't they, and what should be kind of pointless, prolonged drama, and they're just making it work because these characters in general are confused. I think it's not bad if you have, someone like someone who likes someone else, but then they're also feeling things for others. It's a messy thing, and they're in a vulnerable time in their lives. And honestly, this show, when I see people say, oh, it's trash, or it's so bad it's good, I clearly say they're literally overlooking so many things that this does right, and it actually avoids the cliches and the so bad it's good mess like you're typically used to. I covered the first season of Rent-A-Girlfriend. That's a trash show, but it's an enjoyable trash show, and I think most people who watched or read it agree with that statement. But this show doesn't deserve that same level of what the hell. While I definitely thought it was going to get that way before watching the show, Episode 1 quickly proved many of us wrong, and I think it does get progressively, if not better, at the very least throwing new obstacles or plot points that makes us want to see future episodes. And I think it's been doing a great job so far. Sure, this may not be the most popular anime of the season, and it may not have the loudest fan base that got a lot of people to check it out, but it doesn't change the fact that there's a reason this show got a confirmed 24-episode run back-to-back. Not many shows get that anymore, and I think the reason is the production committee that greenlit it, and, the people who did read the manga. It's passionate, and there's enough quality there that it has what typically hooks in people who like the harem genre, but it does it in such a great way that it doesn't feel cliche in the slightest. And I don't know, I think there's definitely some weird pushback against the show, but it almost feels to me like the pushback I'm seeing comes from people who might have seen 2 episodes max, which even then I think 2 episodes max should show you otherwise, but it almost feels like people are judging it without actually watching it, which, I do get, because sometimes we all judge a book by its cover, but it's hard not to even look at an episode like this and look at the forced drama, blah, 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 but they're navigating it in such a way that it's not like everyone's running away and misunderstanding, they constantly avoid the cliches in order to write something that feels realistic if you were put in a situation like this. And honestly, I think the production does a good job both with the comedic outlandish reactions, as in the case of Erika walking into the room and just, being just so annoyed by the screaming, or the more romantic, dramatic directing, which they do a really brilliant, beautiful job, if you ask me. But that's me anyway. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with my annoyance with the new guy, but also kind of understand why he was a part of it, or did you actually like his personality? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. Till next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.